Everyone incarnating on the earth has what could be called a spiritual purpose or soul purpose. Before birth, they have drawn up a soul contract outlining, among other things, a general purpose for the incarnation. This might be to learn about love, or to experience empowerment, or maybe to serve as a mother to many children. However, not everyone has what could be called a spiritual mission. This is a very specific kind of purpose that certain mature souls take on during their incarnation, with the goal of serving humanity and the earth as a whole. These people know themselves to be here to serve in a particular way, using their unique gifts, experience, abilities, and spiritual awareness. A few people seem to have known about their spiritual mission as far back as childhood. Others have slowly become aware of it as they've grown into adulthood. And still others, although knowing definitely that they have one, are still struggling to figure out what it actually is. Or they may know what it is, but they can't seem to find a way to begin it. It can be very frustrating. If you're one of these people, know that the time is coming soon in which you will not only know what your mission is, you will find the way to begin it. Reasons for the delay. Some people have a spiritual mission with others. There are a number of reasons you may still feel stymied at this point. It might be that you will be working with a group of people with a similar mission, and either the other people are not quite ready yet to do the work, or the timing is not yet right for the work to begin. Or it could be that you have certain karmic situations or patterns that still need to be resolved, or relationships you're involved in that are not conducive to whatever you're here to do. Some people, for instance, are fearful of letting go of a marriage they've been in for years, although they're aware that they are being held back by staying in it. Or perhaps you are already expressing your spiritual mission and you're not yet recognizing it. Maybe you're not in a full-on expression of it yet, but you are developing it gradually. And in time, you will find opportunities to broaden and strengthen your service. Perhaps it will morph into something else altogether, but you will be able to see at that point how what you are doing now has been a necessary preparation for it. Frequency holders. Some with a spiritual mission are frequency holders. Some people get confused by thinking that to express their spiritual mission, they need to be doing something active out in the world as a spiritual activist. They believe they need to be involved in political movements or other groups focusing on creating the new earth, such as feeding the homeless, rescuing sea animals, marching for women's rights, or whatever other cause they feel strongly about. Or maybe they think they need to be expressing their mission as a professional counselor, healer, or spiritual guide, or some other spiritual personage focused on healing and guiding people into higher awakening. It's important to understand that not everyone with a spiritual mission is here to be out there in the world, physically and actively serving people and the earth. Or to be creating some new way to guide people into spiritual awakening. Some are here to be frequency holders. These are people who tend to be more inwardly drawn. Some lightworkers like to meditate together. They are generally serious in their meditation practices and often find themselves focusing on sending light and love to other people in their lives, or groups of people across the planet who are currently experiencing challenging situations. They may feel drawn to join in group meditations for world peace or other causes. Frequency holders also tend to spend their time doing everything they can to heal themselves of past woundings and to awaken spiritually. They focus on keeping as positive as possible in their lives, understanding that they are connected to the collective of humanity and that every person living in a high vibration adds to the collective's awakening. It's important, if you relate to being a frequency holder, to not feel your service to the world is somehow not as significant as the service spiritual activists are doing. Your work is more hidden, but it is equally as important. Holding a high vibration for everyone, including the spiritual activists, is extremely important for the world to make the shift it needs to make into the fifth dimension. Activating your spiritual mission. The time to express your spiritual mission is now. Whether you relate to being a frequency holder or a spiritual activist, or perhaps a bit of both, know that the time is now here for your full expression as an ascension lightworker. The Earth is shifting rapidly into a never higher vibration, and huge changes are happening. Among other things, Gaia appears to be amping up her own cleansing process lately through severe climate changes, volcanoes, and earthquakes. These events, on top of all the chaos and uncertainty the current political scene is causing, are creating much fear, confusion, and despair, even in people who are not directly impacted by these things. For many, life is becoming increasingly uncertain and frightening. Ascension is pushing them far out of their comfort zones. So, even if you aren't totally sure what your spiritual mission is or how to get it started, it's time to begin doing whatever you can, at whatever level you can, to simply bring more light and love into the world. This will activate your spiritual mission. You may also find that it assists you in handling whatever challenges are currently happening in your personal life. It may entail committing yourself to a more dedicated meditation practice. It could involve more prayer work, both for yourself and for the world. It may mean going online to find groups you are aligned with to join in their efforts to actively bring greater peace and love into the world. Whatever your heart calls you to do at this point, do it. Put aside your reasons and excuses for not fully committing yourself to it. Who you are and what you have to give is needed now. Your time to truly step into your spiritual mission, whatever it is, in whatever way you can do it, has arrived.